Dr. Greg, thank you for being here. It's a genuine honor to welcome you to our podcast today. And I just want to say that your acceptance of our invitation means a lot, and we deeply appreciate it. Here on Heart to Heart, we bring in guests like yourself with powerful stories to encourage, inspire, and empower people worldwide. And so you have an amazing story, your impactful work, particularly in shaping the lives of young athletes, is commendable. And it's truly a privilege to have you share your story with us here on Heart to Heart. So, welcome, Dr. Greg.
Thank you very much for having me. I am humbled to be on your show. I am blessed that God has given me the talent to
Mm.
share my story, to share my knowledge, to share my experience with others who are striving to achieve their highest potential. I remember the days when I was just like them. I was
Mm.
looking for someone to help me to get to where I am today. And sometimes it's very hard to find. So I am happy that you extended the invitation so I could tell my story. And it is my hope that I can inspire others on who are now on their journey.
Wow, that's wonderful. Well, we're truly honored to have you here. And Dr. Greg, the list of your accomplishments in Wikipedia, because it's there, right? Um, since 1992 to date, that list goes on and on. And so you truly have done amazing things. You're still educating the mass through your books. You're still empowering those young people to be the best version of themselves through your mentoring programs. You're truly making an impact in the lives of many people, and that's why we have you here. So I want to take the opportunity before we really get started, we get into the meat and potatoes of this interview. I want to take this opportunity to name not all but a few of your accomplishments, right? We got to talk about them. So, Dr. Greg Orlando Haughton, a world renowned retired athlete. Um, he is three-time Olympic medalist, world champion, a Goodwill Games champion, and a Pan American Games champion. Dr. Greg has received his PhD in business management from North Central University, and he utilizes his vast athletic and academic experience and knowledge to assist individuals to implement their own unique system to achieve personal success by transforming their minds. He is an author, educator, mentor. You're truly a busy man. You're a busy man. So we're gonna go into my first question. Dr. Greg, for those who don't know you, I want you to take, because I just named some of your accomplishments, and a lot of time we see the accomplishment, we see the success of individuals without truly understanding where it all began, without truly understanding the humble beginnings. And so I want you to talk to us about your childhood. So bring us back, take us back to your childhood. How was your family like growing up? Do you have any siblings? What was life like growing up in your hometown during those early years?
Well, life was fun.
Oh.
When I was much, much, much younger, I was born and raised in the first part of my life in East Kingston. We
Mm.
call it Rallington Town. And then at about 4 to 5, we moved to Almontown. And Almontown was it was a good time for me then because I had all the fruit trees, the mango trees, the coconut trees.
Oh.
The sad part of it is that I had to stay inside. So I used to watch some of my friends play on the street and I would have to just look through the gate because my mother at the time, she was a disciplinarian. I could not venture outside because of safety reasons. But it
Mm.
was fun. I used to do the things that young boys did at the time. I used to make my own truck. I used to make my own kite. I used to make my own skate. So it was a good time. And during those times, I didn't even realize that we were poor people.
Mm.
We use the term poor, but from humble beginning. But I wasn't short of things, so to speak. I satisfied with what we had. If it was only rice and nothing else, then that's what we would eat. So I
Mm.
didn't really realize, and I didn't try to compare with my neighbors. So life was good. Looking back now, I can say that my mother, I don't think she would say life was good because she had to struggle a whole lot. But at the time, I didn't even realize that my mother was having it so difficult.
Wow. It's amazing that, you said you used the word poor, but growing up, you didn't realize that you were poor because, the love that your mother provided. And did you say you had siblings? You grew up
Yes,
with
yes.
siblings?
So I was actually the second. At the time, I'm 10 years older than the last two. They are
Mm.
twins. So my eldest sister, she's 4 years older than I am. So it was only the two of us at the time up until 1984. So life was okay then until the other two came about. And that is when my mother really started to experience some hardship because now she had to care for four coming from two. And
Oh.
because there were no fathers per se helping and supporting, everything fell on her shoulder. And as a
Mm.
result of that, I was responsible for one of my sibling, and the eldest, she was responsible for the other. So we had to do that in order to take off some of the burden of my mother. So
Mm.
we were a tight knitted family. We
Mm.
shared everything. We used to fight. Me and my oldest sister. We used to fight from time to time, but it was good times. I can honestly say, looking back now, that we still have that bond, and it was good times back then.
That's good. Well, siblings fight, in a loving way, of course. I have siblings myself. I'm from a family of 9 children. So
Mm,
I definitely know what you're talking about when you're talking about fight, but we still love each other and care for one another.
yes,
Um, and so, reflecting on your past interviews, you've openly shared, going through tough times,
yes,
hardship, your family faced back in Jamaica.
yes,
And I remember one of the interviews you even mentioned that you had challenges with having no light, no
yes,
running water. Yeah, no running water. And at one point, your mother even lost her job,
yes,
and you had to move from one location to another. And
yes.
so we want to know how did you cope with all those challenges and all the daily struggles with the hardship that you went through?
It was okay while we were living in Alman Town, but when my mother got notice, that's what we call it in Jamaica. So she had to move, and she couldn't find a place to live.
Mm.
So she was really stressed at the time, and then last minute she heard about an area where some homes were being rented, and I don't even know how she scraped up the money, but she got the money together. She really did not want to go over to that location of town, because it was miles away from school for all of us. So eventually she did, because there really weren't a lot of option. That was her last option, and we went into an area that nobody really wanted to live at the time. So that is when things really started to get rough, because when we got
Mm.
there, it was a developing city, inner city. There really were no lights and water and
Mm.
all those good things. We had a lot of mosquitoes. It was really bad there. But things got tougher, because she was trying to find a way out, and it was only her. And then now she had to figure out additional lunch money for four children. It was really hard, and she did not have a stable job. So she was trying to hustle from here to there. So I looking back at it now, I can put things in perspective because now I can see why she was always complaining and why she was always so frustrated. I really didn't know the full extent until I got older and we started to have dialogue on some of the things and it started to make sense. But a lot of times in terms of being able to provide, we were never hungry, but the things that I would need in order to balance myself out as a young boy, it was very tough. I did not have much shoes. I was always getting gifts from family and friends, you know. So that aspect of it was really tough for us. But here's a good thing about it, because when I look at some of the others, my friends, they were experiencing dire poverty way more than I was. So you as tough as things were for us, we could look next door and we could see people living worse off by far. And I think that was one of the main reasons why I became so humble in terms of how I look at life, because some of the life lessons that my mother taught me and my siblings is that we should appreciate what we have. Never ever compare yourself with somebody else, because you don't know what they are doing in order to eat a good night dinner. So because of that, if we were hungry, we had to satisfy with water, we had to satisfy with porridge, we had to satisfy with rice, whatever it was. She always made sure that we didn't go to bed hungry. And as a result of that, even today, I embrace those same principles to say that whatever you have, you must make it work. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Stick to what you need to do. And with time, you too will achieve what you set out to achieve.
Wow. What an incredible woman your mother is. And I see how she was playing both roles, being a mother and a father, sort of. Um, but did you have any male figures at all, uncles?
Yes. So my mother had one brother,
Mm,
and he tried his best from time to time. You know, a lot
mm,
of times when she was really hitting rock bottom, I would have to seek him out. And I know that when he saw me coming, he was like, I know I have to do something. But the good thing about it is my mother and her brother, they were very close. And as a result of that, he understood the situation because she was there for him when he was going through his tough times. And as a result of that, he did the best he could to help me and my sisters to have a better, a more balanced lifestyle.
wonderful. Um, so you attended Excelsior
Yes,
primary, I in high schools.
yes,
I don't know these schools, but my husband is from Jamaica, as you know. So, he knows these schools very well. And, which seem to have paved the way of your successful career in track and
yes.
field. So, can you share with us how you initially got involved in athletics and what inspired you to pursue a career in track and field?
Well, I was always a fast child. I was from the first grade, I was the fastest in the school. I remember one day, one championship, I just decided that I was going to show up, and I was at home wasting time, and I saw a car pull up at my house at the time, and it was the principal of the school. They were at the primary championship and they realized that they needed me, so she came to my house. I had to hurry up and get some clothes on and go. I think at the time I was about 8. So I was always a fast child, but thinking about track and field was never something that I really thought I would be doing. I just did it because I was good at it, and the teachers at the time at the primary school encouraged me, they supported me. And I think they saw that there were needs that needed to be filled. And as a result of that, they stepped in. So when I transferred to the high school, I stopped running altogether because I started to lose focus. I started to do my own thing. So track and field wasn't in the picture at all. 4 years passed. I decided that I was going to do some track because I went over the team 4 times. The coach thought I was not good enough. And as a result, it seemed like no matter what I did, I couldn't make the team. And I remember I was playing cricket I couldn't make the team, so I started playing cricket. Not because I wasn't good enough, I was still one of the fastest in the school. But for some reason, I don't know if it's because I was a skinny child, the coach just did not want to give me the opportunity. And I remember I was playing cricket and I was chasing a ball, and the manager for the track team saw me chasing the ball and he said, "Who is that guy?" And they told him, and he said, "No, we need that guy on the team." So he brought me over after the game. He introduced himself and told me that, he wanted me on the team. And I said, okay, because I really wanted to be on the team. And I remember he sent me to get a spike, a running shoe, and the coach, that same coach who did not want me on the team, he gave me the spike, and as soon as the manager left, he took it back. So I wasn't on the team. I thought I was, but I wasn't on the team. And I remember the fourth time somebody came out and asked me to come out and try out for the team. And I remember when the coach had me do the tryout in the rain, I remember saying to myself that this is just too much. And I just couldn't get a break. And I remember I ran my heart out that day and I thought I did well. And I came back and the coach didn't show me the time. All he said was, "You have potential." But for some reason, he just did not want to give me the opportunity. Now, I'll make the story real short that I eventually made the team. We went to the boys championship. He put me in an event that he didn't expect me to perform well in, and I did well in the event. And as a result of that, he started to get excited because he saw the talent. Now, the good thing about it is that at the end of the year, they fired that coach because of his attitude, and they brought in a new coach. And the new coach came in, fresh eyes. He saw me. He said, "No, I want this guy on my team." And then I started to excel tremendously. So I am not going to say that, I started out the right way and I did everything the right way. It just happened that the right person came along and I was able to be a part of the team, and took me 6 months. I started to dominate track and field at my age group, and it just went up ever since then.
Wow, what a journey. What a journey. I was thinking that you'll be like, well, I just got in the team and I started, running, and everything was just happening, but you had a few bumps along the way, but um you finally made it, and you just kept on soaring from there. So was that first game in 1992? Is
That
that
was 1991. And I
okay?
remember I won the junior championship for Jamaica then. It was a Pan American Games. I competed for Jamaica. I finished fourth in the final, and the scholarship of opportunity started coming my way. And that is when I really realized that, look, I can be really good at this. And,
Hmm.
I just started to stay really focused since then, and I've never turned back since.
All right. Speaking about focus, because I have my next question here, and I want to read one of your quotes. By the way, I love your quotes. You have amazing quotes,
Thank you very much.
powerful ones too. You said, "It's not the big things that make the difference in whether you succeed or fail. It's doing the right things."
Yes,
And reading about you, watching your journey, I believe this philosophy has been evident throughout your career,
yes,
um, especially considering the challenging. You went through some challenges. You were exposed to. You talked about this. You were exposed to drugs. You were exposed to negative influences, and so we want to know, how did you manage to stay focused, on course, and ultimately achieving multiple championships?
Well, I'll say this, that at some point in your life, in my life, in those who set out to achieve greatness, that you have to decide who you want to be. And I
Mm,
remember in my community, um, 8 person got murdered. Fortunately, I wasn't there, but they were really close friends. These were boyhood friends. And I remember when I was in high school, it started to affect me. So I started to stay out late because I didn't want to be a part of that. Now, the friends that I was talking about too, some of them started to go in drugs. at the time crack started to seep in the inner cities, and some of them started to get involved in a lot of wrongdoing. But I remember at the time when I saw it and I realized that I could have been one of the 7 or the 8 that got murdered. Then I started to think about other options. And that is when I really made a commitment to say, look, I need to find a way out of this. I got to find a way out of this. And that is when I started playing cricket, and then the track opportunity came about. And because of that, I knew, and at the time I didn't know much, but I just knew that what they were doing weren't the right thing, and I didn't want to be a part of that. So I'm going to tie this in with the quote, because sometimes when you set out to achieve success, you want to achieve it with one goal. And that's not how it is. There are things that you have to do, small things, in order to make the big difference. But these small things must be right, because I've seen a lot of my friends work hard doing the wrong things, and the wrong things will never get you to achieve the great success that you set out to achieve. So for me, I wanted to know what the right things were. And as a result of that, I tried to hang out with the older men in the community. I tried to hang out with people who understood track and field to the level where they could teach me some of the things, because I realized early that it was information that would separate me from the other guy. We all had talent, but I wanted to know, how could I use my talent in order to be the best person, best athlete I could be. And that is when I realized that it starts with me making the commitment to go after success and to go after people who could help me to make the right decisions in critical moments. And I did that. And that is why I'm so happy to share my knowledge with others, because I know that it doesn't matter how hard you work, if you're not doing the right things, success is going to be drifting further and further away. And for me, I was talking to my daughter today, and I tell her, look, if I don't have the right information to share with someone, I'll never share the information. If I don't know it, I will tell them straight, let me go and get it. I'm a good researcher, so I can find it. But I believe in making sure that you know what the right things are, and then you do a lot of the right activities, and that will get you closer to your goals.
Oh my God. Well said. Um, so many great nuggets there. You said something that I just paused for a second. You said you can be working hard doing the wrong thing.
Yes,
And many of us do that. You go through life, you find yourself, getting busy with something that you probably shouldn't get involved with. But, you said something very important, that information separated you with the other guys. You all had the talent, but you had the right information, you had the right people around you, because again, that's another influence right there. You had the right people, so that set you apart.
yes,
So it's not just about the talents, but it's also about the information, and it's also about the people around you.
yes.
Well said, doctor. I love that.
Thank you very much.
um so we know that Jamaica is track and field nation. Like, I mean, say whatever you want to say. Jamaica is right there at the top, and we've seen it with Usain Bolt. We've seen it with Shelly Ann Fraser Price, who have, they've stayed in Jamaica, they've trained in Jamaica, they've represented Jamaica. And so, but you had an opportunity, right? You had a decision to make at some point. And so, my next question is, what influenced your decision to move to the United States, to pursue your athletic career, rather than staying in Jamaica?
Well, I came about at the time when the traditional thing to do was to get a scholarship and to go overseas and to develop yourself, because the coaches that we have now, they weren't that advanced. So staying back in Jamaica at the time, doing my time in the early 90s, would not be a good choice. We had people like Merlin Ottey, Winthrop Graham, Grace Jackson, Juliet Cuthbert, all of the greats went overseas to develop their talent. So at the time, it was a no-brainer. And moreover, I was from the inner city and I was looking for a better way out. Staying in Jamaica was not a good fit for most of us. So I came here because it gave me an opportunity to get my education, because I did not do as great as I wanted in high school, and as a result, I would have been considered a failure by many in the academic world. So coming to the US to get my degree was something that was very important to me. I had no idea about getting any PhD because that wasn't on the agenda at the time, but the goal was to get my education, and then from there, I decide what would be best for me. Fortunately for me, track and field um, came about where I did not truly expected to accomplish all of this. The aim was to get the talent, get the scholarship, get my degree, and then figure out what next. But track and field, I started to do excellent in track and field, and because of that, I got a sponsorship from Adidas at the time, and that paved the way for me to achieve more and to focus more on track and field, because I had the support, I had the money, and it was just up to me now to make good decisions.
Wow. I just I'm just thinking about Wikipedia, and I'm looking at the list of, your wins, like, the things that you've done. It's amazing. And people need to go Google. You need to Google Dr. Gregory Orlando. Oh,
I say this, Cindy, I'll say this, that when I set out to achieve my career, right, in track and field, one of my plan was to win as many medals as I could, but I couldn't share that
mm,
goal with anyone because people would laugh at me. I remember at several of these championships, when I said that I would be winning a medal, I couldn't say it aloud at the dining table because even some of my teammates thought it was not possible. So I started accumulating one medal at a time, then two, then three. But a lot of people did not know that my intention was to win as many medals, because I wanted to, when I retire from the sport of track and field, that I would be one of the person with the most medals for my country.
wow.
Unfortunately, it happened. I can talk about it now. The history books are there to support a dream. And I'm here to tell anyone that if you have a dream and you have the right people in your corner and you make the commitment, you too can achieve anything you set out to achieve in life.
Oh my goodness. So, Dr. Gregory, I just want to know, this just came to my mind. How do you introduce yourself? When, you know, how do you introduce yourself? Like,
Well, I'll tell you this, Cindy, that if I'm with if I'm not in an interview, I keep it everything to myself because I
mm,
usually want people to see me for who I am. So you won't hear me talk about all the medals, but when I am on a public platform, then I can talk about Dr. Gregory Haughton, three-time Olympic medalist and world champion
we
in
want
track
to
and
hear
field.
it. We want to hear it all. Yes, yes, we want to hear it all.
so so I can say this, Cindy, that I am proud of my three Olympic medals. I am proud of my
Mm,
world championship medals. I am proud of the fact that I am the goodwill champion, the Pan American Games champion. I am proud of the fact that I am also the Commonwealth champion. One of
mm.
the things that I also am very pleased with is the fact that I won three NCAA championship, and I also broke the NCAA indoor 400-meter record on my second attempt. So, and these weren't things that I actually sat down and decided that this is what I wanted to achieve. But while I was in the moment, I realized that these things are possible. And
Mm.
because of that, I committed myself, and I just did the best I could. Now, I'm saying that to say this, Cindy, that a lot of times when you set out to achieve something, you can't see the end game. And because some people can't see the end game, they get frustrated when they're not getting closer to that. Now, for me, I only want to do my best effort. So what I do, I focus on now, focus on the moment. and I try to be the best I can be today. And then tomorrow I come back and I try to be the best I can be. And I find that this is why I said it is the small things, not the
Yeah.
big things. It is doing the little things good, the right way. And over a period of time, you will achieve whatever you set out to achieve.
This is powerful. That's powerful, doctor. Um, Speaking of your 1996 games, now I didn't watch this back in 1996, but this is probably the most talked about games that you participated in, and so I had to watch it for myself. I had to watch it for myself. Well, this is the moment you failed during the race. It
Yes,
was the 1996 Olympic Games in
yes,
Atlanta, Georgia. But something happened.
yes,
Again, this shows how dedicated, how dedicated you are as a person. Something happened. Um, you fell, you rolled over, but you managed to get back up. And I tell you what, you secured the third place,
yes,
and won a bronze medal for Jamaica.
yes.
That's amazing. And guys, you got to watch it for yourself, because a lot of time when people fall, they just stay there. Like, it seems as if it's over. When I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, what just happened? But you managed to get back up and you ran that race. Like, please tell us what was going on through your
Well,
mind, and how did you find the strength to get back up?
well, let me say this first that in 1995, I finished third behind the world record holder in the 400 meters. So I was one of the favorites to win a medal, an individual medal at the Atlanta Games. But unfortunately, I didn't even make my team in the top three. So I was only on the relay. And I was
Mm.
having a very bad season. But when I got to Atlanta, I felt that it was a way to redeem myself. So I started training again and I started getting everything together. And it would have been a great race because the team, the national team, the Jamaica team felt that we could win the race. It would have been a tough competition because you had the UK and the United States there, but we felt that we had a good shot at winning the race. Now we were actually leading at the time. I was running the third leg, and my teammate was coming in so fast, and I misjudged the move. And when I got out, I took the baton. I got tripped up by him. So I break my fall. I tried everything to hold on to the baton. I break my fall. I fell. I rolled over. I got up and I tried to go again, and then I stumbled. So when I stumbled, I still managed to get the momentum going. But I can tell you this, Cindy, that it was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my career, because by the time I hit the first 100-meter mark, I was dead tired. I don't know how these guys weren't able to catch me, but I tell you, I did everything I could to carry around the baton. And at the end of the day, it was still a pretty decent split. So I can't take credit for that. I can say God was with me in that moment because I did the best I could. Fortunately, it was good enough. Fortunately, it was enough to help us to win a medal. Because before the race, I said to myself, this is my first Olympic. If I don't get a medal, I'm not leaving Atlanta. So that was one of the main reasons why I
Wow.
was so determined to get up and to take the baton around, because I wanted an Olympic medal first time, and God blessed me with the energy, the willpower to get up and to take the baton to my teammate. And fortunately for us, we finished third in that race.
You know what? You made Jamaica proud. You did. You
Thank you, man.
did.
Thank you.
I can imagine all the Jamaicans just going like, "Oh my God, he fell. We done for." But nope, it wasn't done yet, and um, really incredible. I watched it. It was a good game. So you,
Thank you.
you did well. You did very
Thank you.
well. Um, so as in not every tired, you've been through a lot, you've been through a lot of races. What words of encouragement would you offer a young athlete who is on the verge of giving up?
Don't give up. I I tell my children this, that where you sit now, you might not be able to see all the steps. But
Mm,
because I've been there and done that, I see all the steps. It's like me reading a book. I can tell you from start to finish what is going to happen from the first page right up until the end. So I know that for young people, it is because they don't see the end game. And this is why I am a mentor, because I've been there and I've done that. And I realize in life that if you want to achieve anything that is worthwhile, you must find people that have the lived experience, which means that we experience it, we've been there, we've done that, we know the struggles, we know the pitfalls, and it is up to me to help some of these young people to avoid some of these pitfalls. And this is why I said in the book too that trial and error is never the best way to learn, because it brings forth a lot of frustration, and then
mm,
quit. So what I would say to young people who are struggling to achieve their full potential and are frustrated is that first you need to sit, you need to think about life, you need to find the right group of people, because you're going to need support, you're going to need guidance, and you're going to need encouragement. Now, sometimes the people that you have in your corner, they mean you well, but they don't have the right information. So as a result of that, they can't share much with you that can move you from point A to point B. And this is why I'm a big proponent of lived experience, because when I sit with a young person, I promise them that if you follow my advice and my guidance, it will get you to where you want to be. And this is what I would say: get the right people in your corner, people who genuinely care, people who have the knowledge and the experience, and people who are committed to make sure that your success is their number one priority. Because sometimes these young people who have the talent, people want them to achieve their goals, which means the manager may want to achieve his goal, so he sees you as a meal ticket. You need to
mm.
find someone whose purpose is to make sure that your goal is to achieve your goal. That is what I would say to young people. Find people that you can trust, people who are trustworthy, people with a proven track record, who had
Right.
done it, and they are willing to share the information and the knowledge to get you to where you want to be.
Wow. I love your philosophy. I love the fact that you have that heart for the people. You want them to do well, and especially those young people, they need guidance. And um, through your mentoring group, mentoring program, which is HMG Haughton Mentoring Group.
Yes.
Um, Tell us about it, and what are the primary benefits that your mentoring program
Mhm.
aims to provide?
How the mentoring group came about because of my own struggles, um, not learning through trial and error. Want people to know that if you want to achieve what you need to achieve, you must find people that you can trust. You must find people with the right knowledge. You must find people who are willing to share, and their purpose is to make sure that you achieve your goal. That's number one. What our mentoring group has done, we provide the support, we provide the guidance, we provide the encouragement. No, I can tell you this, Cindy, that a lot of time people with a lot of talent, the reason why they don't achieve their goals is because it's not because of lack of talent. It
Mm,
is because that they have personal issues, and these personal issues affect their ability to think straight and to do the things that they need to do every day. And this is why the encouragement that we provide daily is important, because when you feel like you want to quit, we are right there next to you. Because remember, I said it, your goal, your success is my number one priority. It's not about me. It's about how I can help you to achieve your goals. And a lot of times people can promise you that they will help you to achieve your goal. but I can tell you that I am in the goal achieving business. If you don't succeed, then I fail. And if I say that I have the lived experience to take you from point A to point B, trust me. Now, I'm proud to also say, Cindy, that I have a 99% result,
Wow.
because when our team sit and assess your situation, we make
Mm,
sure that the information that you're getting is accurate and it is right on the money. Now, what I can say to you too is that one of the things we do, we have a free personal evaluation. You can go
wow.
on our website, www.drhaughton.com. And for those who want to start the process to achieve greatness in their lives, it's free. All you have to do, go on the website, click on it. It will give you 15 to 18 questions that is asking you about your personal issues. It's confidential. You do it and you can start the process. But the reason why I love the Haughton Mentoring Group, because I see a lot of myself in others who wanted
Mm,
more and just don't know where to turn, don't know who to turn to, don't know where to start. And as a result of that, they just give up. And I can tell you this, Sydney, that when people give up, it usually causes regrets, because when they settle, they now start to think about, why didn't I keep on moving forward? And they
mm,
didn't move forward because they lacked the support, they lacked the guidance, they lacked the encouragement. And believe it or not, Cindy, most of the time the discouragement comes from the family members. It
mm,
comes from the friends. It comes from the people who are supposed to believe in you. I've done a lot of seminars and I can tell you that the people who are complaining are telling you that it starts in the home. Your
mm.
parents don't believe in you, your friends don't believe in you, and as a result of that, it makes the journey way more difficult.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That's why I'm so impressed. I'm so
Thank you.
impressed with you. So impressed with your resume. So impressed with the way, you just turned your life around, like, and you keep touching lives. It's like you're not stopping. You know, you had a moment when you ran your races where, you won championship, and this is now, it's you turning it around to mentorship, and
Well, Cindy,
amazing.
I've always
Amazing.
said that I have a lot to give God thanks for, because
Mm,
I remember when I retired, I was sitting thinking about what next. And I know the lonely nights that a lot of people have, because I had them myself. But the purpose of the lonely nights were to reflect on me, who I wanted to be, because at every phase in your development, you're going to be tempted. You're going to be tempted to do some of the things that you don't want to do. And I'm happy that I
mm,
was able to stick with it. And I can tell you about friends and some family members who helped me, because sometimes if you can't find it within your circle, you have to find it outside of your circle. So I'm just saying that to say that I am blessed. I'm happy that God helped me to look within myself so I could
mm.
become aware of what I needed to do. I could acknowledge some of my failures and some of my disappointments and realize that they were for the best, because I learned a whole lot from some of my failures and some of my disappointments.
Dr. Greg, you also have a podcast,
Yes,
a very successful one.
yes,
um, and it's Let's Talk with Dr. Greg.
yes.
um, can you just provide our audience an overview of your podcast, what it's all about, what inspired you to venture to the world of podcasting?
I Let's talk with Dr. Greg. It's a podcast where we try to get accurate information from people who have been there and done that. As I said before, information is vital to the success of any individual, and I wanted to get into the minds of those who achieve high level of success, failure along the way, and they were willing to share their stories with others to inspire them to say, these are some of the things that you should not do. These are some of the things that we highly recommend that you do. So on the Let's Talk with Dr. Greg, we talk with Olympians, Olympic medalists, world champion, world record holders, managers, coaches, you name it. We talk to people who achieve some of the highest achievements in life, and they want to share their stories so it can inspire others. Now, I can tell you this, the beauty of Let's Talk with Dr. Greg is the fact that I allow these individuals to talk freely. They have the
Mm.
platform. I ask the question and allow them to share their story in a way that it captivates the audiences. So, I love it. Let's Talk with Dr. Greg. Um, I appreciate what it has done for so many, and I will continue to do it until it is no longer needed.
It's always going to be needed, you know. And you have a YouTube channel for it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And we'll have all the information down the comment below so people can go check it out. It's a powerful platform, powerful podcast. Go check it out. Let's talk with Dr. Greg.
Yes.
Um, Dr. Greg, you also just what it keeps going. It keeps going. All these accomplishments. You wear many hats for sure. Were you also an author of many books, including the book titled "How to Achieve Your Highest Potential," and you talked about the 7 principles to a successful career.
Yes.
Well, how do you believe those principles outlined in your book can be applied to various career paths and industries?
Well, put it this way, Cindy, that no matter what industry you're in, if you set out to achieve any high level goals, there are some
Hmm.
things that you must do, and you must be this person. So in the book, it talks about sometimes people think that they need to have some things in order to be somebody or to achieve success. But you have to think like the successful people first so you
Right.
can do the things that successful people do. So we talk about these 7 principles in one of the book, and the 7 principle talks about your mind. You have to condition your mind. You must be committed to whatever you set out to achieve, because a lot of time people want to achieve something but they are not committed. We talk about patience because sometimes you want to get there overnight, but anything that is worthwhile require patience, right? And
That's
greatness
right.
should never be rushed. We also
Hmm.
talk about the fact that you must be tenacious. You must take pride in what you do. Some people just come to work and they go, but when you are tenacious, you want to make sure that everything that you do is done the right way because it's how you develop. So in the book, we talk about these 7 principles to a successful career, because we know that anyone who wants to be successful must embrace these principles. Without these principles, you're just going to work in vain.
Wow. You have a mind of a champion, a mind of a
Thank you
champion,
very
of a
much.
high achiever. Um, and where can people purchase the book?
Amazon. The book is
Amazon.
exclusively on Amazon. And I try to keep the price really low because I wanted it to drop into the hands of everyone. The 7 principles,
Mm.
you can give it to your son or your daughter because it sets the foundation for the original book, which is how to achieve um, success in your career. A very easy read, and it's very simple. It also talks about how you get access to the mentoring program and what we will do once you finish the book and you want to move to the next phase, what you need to do in order to become a part of the HMG family.
Dr. Greg, what's next? What is next?
you know,
Tell us about your future plans, projects.
yes, we have some plans coming up. We have done a lot of pro bono work in Jamaica.
Mm.
Mind of a Champion tour. We just finished the tour in November. We went to a few schools. We went to GC Foster. We went to Excelsior High. So it is something that I've been doing for the past 5 years. But with COVID, we had to shut it down, and we now started it
Mm,
again. So one of the goals is to get into these high schools and set up our mentoring program and to help to motivate and to inspire some of these young people, because we know that if we don't get these young people up and ready for the future is going to be very bleak. We can see
mm,
the major separation with how our group of people think and where they are now, and that if we don't help them to transition successfully to the next phase, then our people will be affected way more than we think. So
mm.
my number one priority now is to travel around the islands. We're going to travel around the US, and we're going to present the keys to a successful career. And we're going to just keep on doing that until it sticks.
Amazing. That's amazing. And how can people connect with you? How can they get in touch with you? I know you're on social media, but just, how can they get a hold of you?
You can find me on www.drhaughton.com or www.haughtonmentoringgroup.com. As I said before, we have a lot of free courses on the website. We have the free evaluation on the website. All of my contact is on the website. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube as Dr. Gregory Haughton. You can find me on Haughton Mentoring Group. All of my social media handles, I am there. Just send me a message and I will respond right away.
Dr. Gregory. Oh my goodness. I was looking for this. I was looking forward to this conversation. What a powerful discussion we just had. Thank you very much. I know you're such a busy man. You have a lot going on, but I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing up here, and just for your time, and just the fact that you came here gracing our podcast means a lot. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me. I wish we had a whole lot more shows like what you're doing now. It's a heart to heart conversation. I love your energy. I love what you do. And I'm happy that you extended the invitation to me. It's one of these moments that I too will cherish. And I wish you all the best in everything that you do. Thanks again for having me, and may God continue to bless and keep you and your family safe.
Woo! Thank you.
You're welcome.